everyone, my name's Jillian and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create a heart-shaped wreath covered in flowers in honor of Valentine's Day. Now, this isn't just for Valentine's Day. You can use this method that I'm showing you to cover any type of wreath form. So I hope it inspires you to create your own for any holiday throughout the year. Let's get started. Step one is gathering the materials. I went to the Dollar Tree for most of these supplies, but you could go to Walmart or Target or any craft store to get what you need. I picked up handfuls of each different color of roses that I wanted to include on the wreath. So I have this beautiful peach color that graduates into a rose red color at the end. Then I have a solid peach and a solid purple rose. I chose these colors because I wanted to branch out from the traditional colors you usually see on Valentine's Day, like the pinks, the reds, and the whites. So I thought this would be a nice way to mix it up. But the beauty of this DIY is that you can really customize it to any colors that fit your decor. Don't worry too much about getting an exact number of rose stems because you can really just work with whatever you get. I honestly didn't even count them and it worked out fine. I just looked at the wreath and just estimated how many I thought would cover it. Next up is the heart-shaped wire wreath form, but remember, if you don't want to make a heart-shaped wreath, you can use any wreath form that fits the look that you're going for. I also picked up some burlap ribbon to wrap around the wreath form before gluing on the flowers. Now, I know people often glue things directly onto wreath forms, but I was a little nervous about the points of the flowers once I removed them from the stems, adhering to the open wire wreath form. So I just decided to wrap it in burlap ribbon. You can use any type of ribbon that you have on hand. I would just choose one that is more solid rather than sheer, so you don't burn your fingers as much when you're hot gluing it. I also got some twine to create a loop on the back of the wreath so that I could hang it up on my door at the end of the project. But you could use any type of ribbon you have on hand. Finally, let's talk about the tools that you'll need for the project. You'll need a hot glue gun and a pair of scissors. I'm so excited about this cordless hot glue gun that I used for the first time on this project. I had been using hot glue guns with cords my entire life and actually never knew that a cordless hot glue gun existed until recently. I think it made a big difference in how convenient it was to use during the project, and so if you're interested in the one that I used here, I will put a link in the description box below. Step 2 is to wrap the wreath in burlap ribbon. I used 2 spools of ribbon to do this, but you really only need enough coverage to glue your flowers onto a flat surface, so don't go crazy wasting your ribbon. The bottom point of the heart was a bit tricky to cover with the ribbon, but don't worry about that too much. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not really going to see it once you put the flowers on. At this point, I really liked the look of the burlap alone covering the wreath, so I was tempted to stop there, but I had bought a lot of flowers, so I kept going. Step 3 is to glue on your flowers. Flowers are pretty easy to pull off the stems, so you just do that first. I did it by color and just as I went, or you could just pull all of the flowers off to start. The approach I took to arranging and gluing on the flowers was to do one color at a time to achieve an even distribution of the color throughout the wreath. I started with 2 stems of the peach and red flowers, then 2 stems of the purple and 2 stems of the peach, and just assess where I was at that point, and then from there on I kept filling in with whatever color I felt each area needed. Then I continued to alternate the colors until the wreath felt full enough to me. You may think this is gonna go super fast because all I'm doing is pulling off flowers from their stems and gluing them onto a wreath. But it took a little bit more time than I expected. So if you're going to attempt this DIY, I would say give yourself an hour as a conservative estimate and you'll have plenty of time to finish it. You can see as I go through, I keep holding up the wreath, looking back at it, and seeing if I have an even distribution of the colors. I wanted to make sure it didn't look like there were chunks of one color on one side of the wreath, and I just kept adding colors. If I made a mistake and put 2 colors, or 3 or 4, too close next to each other, I just broke it up by adding colors on top. So it's very easy to fix if you feel like you messed up with where you put your colors. The main challenges I ran into were cutting the flowers too close on to their stems and then falling apart. And then at the end, making my loop for the wreath. The twine was not thick enough to support the weight of the wreath. It's still not very heavy, but it was a thin piece of twine and it didn't support it as well as I would like. So I braided the twine and then I tried to put it on the back of the wreath. It was a little difficult to hot glue to the back. So if I could do it again, I would use a thicker ribbon to create the hook on the back of the wreath. So that's it. That's everything that you need to know to make this heart-shaped wreath covered in flowers for Valentine's Day. Now remember, you can use this method to cover any shaped wreath for any occasion throughout the year. I hope this video inspired you to create your own wreath. It's always fun to decorate your home with pieces that you've made and are proud of. If you'd like to see more DIY videos like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This is a brand new channel that I launched last week, so make sure to check out the first video if you missed it. I'll put a link in the description box below. It's 5 Amazon products to step up your self-care routine in 2020. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.